The Most Honorable Juliet Holness, patron of this event, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange, the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Audrey Sewell, our Director General of the PIOJ, Mr. Wavell Lines, representing the Leader of the Opposition, the Director General in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. I gather we have representatives of the Diplomatic Corps here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fathers, good afternoon. And may I take this opportunity to wish for each and every father, including my own father, who I have not yet had a chance to call to tell him Happy Father's Day. But may I take this opportunity to wish all fathers who are here a happy Father's Day. And may we take today as the day that we recommit to further our families. Now, it's a very windy day. And I'm happy for the wind because it is also a very hot day. So the wind will help to cool. But the wind will also blow away my voice. And I have another speaking engagement after this one. So I'm going to be brief. I have two issues that I want to discuss with my fellow fathers today. And I want our mothers to listen on and bear witness. The first is that the Jamaican society is going through a period of unprecedented change. Change in our principles, what we stand for as a society, changes in our morality, changes in what we see as important. And that change in our outlook and perspective has not spared the family. For a very long time, by virtue of our history, fathers have not played the role that they should have played and should be playing in our families. But I've looked at some statistics recently provided by the PIOJ, and I'm very happy to see that fathers are beginning to play a greater role in the early life of their children. And we are seeing it more often now. We are seeing fathers making it a point of duty to take their children to school. And it is always pleasing to my heart, whether it is you walk them to school or you tow them on the handlebar. Well, don't do that of the bicycle. But I happen to see many fathers riding their children to school. Or if you are so fortunate to drive, many fathers are playing a far greater role. But it is more than that. Many fathers are at home taking care of the kids while the wife goes out to work. So I'm happy to see that the dynamics of the roles that fathers play and mothers play, that is changing in a positive way, so that fathers are now taking up a greater role in the life of the family and in the development of their children. So while I'm happy to hear that Mrs. Holness says that You know, the traditional Jamaican family, the wife or the mother in the family will reserve the better part of the meal for the father. Juliet, how come I didn't get all that chicken breast? I guess it's because I've changed my diet. Eh? But it is good to see that change happening. But we still have a challenge. Because we notice that as our children grow up, the fathers are less equipped to address the challenges of the teenage years and the adolescent years. And that is where we are seeing the greatest effect of the lack of fathering in the society. Fathers, you will agree with me that more than 90% of the crimes committed in Jamaica are committed by men. And more than 90% of that are committed by young men. And a significant portion of that crime, more than 50%, are committed by young men around their teen years. So that speaks to a real problem now of fathering. It is one thing when the mother says, take him, I can't manage him no more. But you know you have a real problem when the father says, I just can't bother with him no more. And many fathers simply have not tried. And I understand why many of them don't, because they are not equipped. They don't have the parenting skills, the nurturing skills. And the truth is, many of them would have gone through the same experience. And their conclusion is, well, that is what I'm going to have to do in order to survive this very brutal world. So today, I want to appeal to the fathers. Because when we quote the statistics, we usually say that 90% of the crimes are committed by males. But we don't usually quote the other side of the statistic, which is that 90% of the victims of crime are males. So we have a real problem in Jamaica, my fathers, where our men, our boys, are inflicting violence to the point of often death on each other. So as we commemorate the Father's Day, we celebrate Father's Day, and we wish for a happy Father's Day for the family. Breeze be calm. As we commemorate today and we celebrate today, I want our fathers to recommit to taking a greater role in the lives of their boys, in ensuring that they don't deviate from that right path, that they don't make the mistakes that you made in your life, that you hold their hands and guide them along the path of success. Don't give up on them. Don't give up on them. The other point I want to make, because this is an event for the family, and I've been listening very keenly to the national debate. And there is much being said about the right to life. We hear much talk about issues such as abortion. We hear much talk and debate in the society about how we define gender and sexuality in our country. And yesterday, I had the opportunity to receive the president of Ghana. And we had a very interesting discussion about African retentions. One of our African retentions, of course, is the Obi man. And I've been following all the discussions. And if you put them together, it could very well seem as if there is an assault on the traditional values of the society and how we see our traditional institutions. Let me say this from this platform as we celebrate Father's Day. This government that I lead is committed to preserving the institution of the family as we have understood it and our parents have understood it. This government is wholly and solely focused on the real threats to the institutions of our society. And the real threat is poverty and the lack of economic growth and opportunity for the mass of the people. This government will not be distracted on issues that will not advance our economic progress, the creation of jobs and economic growth. The government exists within a democratic society. The government cannot stop debate. It cannot stop people from expressing their own opinions. And that is part of the beauty of the system that we live in, that all views can contend. But the government must set priorities. And our priority is to address the issue of poverty in our country, to eliminate poverty from our land, to create economic growth and provide jobs. That is what our focus is. So if we engage in anything, it is about your economic independence. The social issues are important and they will be debated, but we always pay attention to what the people of the country say. And if there's one thing you know about me, my ears is close to the ground. So I hear what the people say, and I will do what the people want me to do. So I think a word from this platform is sufficient to quiet down all the conversation that is going on. People can talk, it is a democratic right, but the government has set its priority. My eyes are on your prosperity, on your progress, and I am not going to go through a convoluted route winding into issues that do not advance the progress of this country. So, let me go back to my first point. As soon as the wind allows me. I call upon the fathers today to become even more involved in the lives of your children. I'm happy to see that more fathers are becoming involved in the early years of their children. But the real challenge now is in the adolescent, teenage years, young adult years. That is where now we need the fathers to start paying keen attention. I can't deliver a lecture or a lesson today in parenting. But one thing I find that is important, ask questions. Start with that. Find out from your teenage son what is happening. And then share your experience. At that age, they believe they know everything. And they don't understand everything. So they might have knowledge, but they don't have context. And so your job is not necessarily to tell them what to do, but to give them the context in which they are making decisions to help them. So I leave that with the fathers. And the second thing is that this government that I lead, is committed to preserving the institutions of the society in the way that you would want to see them preserved. We live in a democratic society. So you cannot suppress the expressions of alternative views. But ultimately, you are the people that make the decision, and I am merely the servant of your decision. So ladies and gentlemen, fathers, I thank you for listening, and happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and thank you for telling me happy Father's Day too. I appreciate it.
Oh, and I didn't get to wish happy Father's Day for my newly adopted son.
I daddy.
If I didn't get me in that trouble, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
I did. Excuse me, you people.
Hold on a second, Fanscan. What we're going to do right now, all the people who have joined the line for food, we are giving away a free prize for the first 50 people back to their seat right now. The first 50 people back to their original seat, we have prizes for you right now. Because we won't start serving the meal until we hear the closing remarks, which is coming up right now.
All right. And like how the tent and mash up, we don't want to hurt the Prime Minister and the First Lady. So somebody need to come on